Good morning, everybody. And you're probably thinking, hey, I'm looking at a scale. You are looking at an empty scale because I want to show you something. I just got this right here. Now, my voice doesn't carry very far. So when I do these videos, I pretty much have to yell or you can't hear me. Especially when I'm saying stuff like away from the camera and mostly to myself, that stuff you can't hear. So I end up having to go in and adjust the sound volume and this, that, and the other, and it gets to be a pain in the butt because what you guys hear is this right here. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And there's not a lot I can do about it. So I saw this thing. It was on Amazon Vine. So before anyone thinks I suddenly came into a bunch of money, I did not. I saw this on Amazon Vine. I am in the process of reviewing it. I just finished the review video that I'll put on my other channel, and I am now testing it out so I can review it on Amazon. And that's all I get the product. When I get the product, that's all I have to do is review it on Amazon. So I like to test it beforehand, and that's what I'm doing now. It also comes with its, where's it at? Comes with a micro SD card. So it's recording what I'm saying while I'm saying it. So I've got the camera recording, I've got this device recording, and I don't have any external microphones on the camera. So we're going to see if I like this. In the meantime, we're going to make some cornmeal porridge. So here it is. I was just frying my pan off on the stove for the last time. And you're thinking, Stacy, we do cornmeal porridge all the time. I know. I love cornmeal porridge. See if I can get the volume. I think the volume is actually on my little microphone. Let's see what we got. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Wait, maybe. I think it might be all the way up. Maybe? I do not know. All right, I'm still playing with it. No volume on this thing. There's a fast forward buttons. All right, so I guess it would also function like the old magnetic tape recorders or the digital tape recorders, because it looks like I can listen to myself after I finish recording. All right, so obviously I'm still playing with this thing. So let's make some cornmeal porridge. As always, it is 5 ounces of cornmeal, and I will check this pan one more time. I get paranoid. Okay, so now we're ready to make some cornmeal porridge. So we do 5 ounces of cornmeal porridge. .2 is okay. 5 ounces of cornmeal porridge. We're going to do 8 ounces of milk. And unless I'm needing to burn up some milk, I don't really want to do more than 8 ounces. Milk is hard to come by these days. All right, I got to get a cup because I got to get water. You know what? That's not going to work. I've got my dish thing in the sink, so I'm not going to be able to get this cup over there to get some water. That's okay. I got a plan. We can do this. So what I have is a bottle of water. And we'll just tear this out and fill up the rest with water. There we go. Used up most of the bottle. All right, now the cornmeal porridge gets a little bit of vanilla. It gets a little bit of nutmeg. Or a lot. I like nutmeg. All right. And a good dousing of cinnamon. Okay. So we got that. Now I need a spoon, and it needs to go on the stove. I need a spoon. Here's a spoon. All right. And no, I'm not going to have a yard sale this weekend. The weather is just too unpredictable. It rained on the overnight last night, and then it's supposed to rain at like 9 o'clock tonight. So I would end up putting the stuff out, having to pull it all the way back into the house, and then I would have to drag it out again tomorrow if I were going to do it tomorrow. So it'd be an awful lot of work. So I'm going to skip it this weekend and try and get caught up on videos and finish up updating my website and things like that. It's 10:45 a.m. All right. I'm just checking this spoon. Looks good. All right, we're going to bring this over to the stove. And I'm going to bring you over to the stove. And then awesome things are going to happen. So we are going to make some cornmeal porridge. And really all I do from this point on is just stir it. But while I stir, I want to talk to you about something relevant to today and relevant to the newsletter that went out today. If it hasn't already gone out, it will. I am working on it, but I had to make breakfast, so I thought I would do something else. So we're going to start with, hey there, while this cornmeal porridge simmers and I stir it, I want to talk to you about something just as rich and satisfying as this cornmeal porridge, right? So I am going to stir this cornmeal porridge, and we are going to talk about plot twists in fiction. You know, those moments in a story where everything shifts and you suddenly see the whole thing in a new light. Well, let's break it down while I stir this porridge into some amazing deliciousness. Right? This cornmeal porridge looks amazing already, with its vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And I didn't put any salt in this. I probably won't. So we are doing this. So just what is a plot twist? A plot twist at its core is a sudden change in the direction of your story. Something unexpected that flips the reader's assumptions. When it's done well, it's like a punch of adrenaline. Think of a time when you thought the villain of the story, the actual villain, was the hero's friend, right? Or when the treasure turns out to be something intangible. You remember there are quite a few treasure stories where they go through this whole adventure, they do the thing, and then all of a sudden they open the box and it's a message about teamwork or loving one another, and there's not a drop of gold to be found in that treasure chest. That's a plot twist. The latter is usually pretty unsatisfying, but that's a plot twist. So, plot twists, when done well, tend to reframe everything, and they keep your readers on their toes. You don't need to write thrillers, and here's the thing, you don't need to write mysteries or thrillers to do a plot twist. You could do one in a romance novel. You could do one in a smutty novel. You could do one in an action-adventure novel. You could do one in a pirate tale. I've got a few followers that really love pirates, and I agree with them. I love pirate tales. So, you could do something like that. So then, why do plot twists work? Well, they work because plot twists play with your reader's expectations. Readers make predictions as they read, consciously or not. A good twist disrupts those predictions, but still makes sense in hindsight. And that is the sweet spot. When you surprise your reader and they're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And then they get thinking about it and they're like, wait a minute, I should have seen this coming. Oh my God, I should have seen it. So, right? That is the sweet spot. That's the satisfying because the clues were there, but the reader just didn't see them. So, you can think of it like, have you ever seen The Sixth Sense where the psychologist is trying to help the boy through his being able to see unalived people and ghosts and stuff like that? At the end, we realize that the therapist was the victim of a heinous crime and is also unalive. So that is a really great movie because it really does the plot twist well. We don't see that he's not actually among the living. And he even interacts with his wife. And you just don't get it until you see the final scene where it all comes together. So what are the types of plot twists? Well, you have the reversal. Everything the protagonist believes turns out to be wrong, like a trusted mentor turning out to be a villain. You have a revelation, the secret that is uncovered and changes everything. This could be hidden parentage, double lives, or long buried truths. You could have a red herring. You've led the reader toward one conclusion only to reveal that it's a misdirection. You have the betrayal twist. Someone close to the main character betrays them. And not only is it shocking, it's emotionally like, no! So, And 5, which kind of causes the most surprises of all, is the it was there all along twist. The clues were in plain sight. You can think Gone Girl or Fight Club. Fight Club really got me because you think they're different people in this Fight Club, and they turn out to be the same person. Sorry if you haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen Fight Club, definitely watch it. If you haven't seen Gone Girl, that's a movie you watch one time. One time, folks. There's a lot of movies in my catalog that are watched one time. Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, Forrest Gump. You only need to watch them once. Gone Girl is one of those movies. All right. So, and here's another thing to keep in mind. Not every story needs a twist, but when it fits, it can elevate your narrative just that much more. So, how do you write a great twist? How do you stir a good pot of cornmeal? No, but when you write a twist, if you want to write a twist that lands, here are some tips. 1. Use some foreshadowing, but do it lightly. Seed your clues early in the story. And remember not to hit your readers over the head with them, but make sure they exist. So that if your reader hits the plot twist and wants to go back and reread, they see the clues, but they're not overly obvious. Avoid Dens ex machina, a twist that comes out of nowhere and has no setup. Okay? You can't spring a twist on your readers without foreshadowing. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't belong in the story. I have a fiction editing book that calls this throwing alligators through the transom. That's where you've got a character maybe in a room being interrogated, and the author thinks that the interrogation is boring. So they throw an alligator through the transom window above the door. Oh my God, suddenly the character and the interrogator now have to deal with an alligator in the room. Don't do it, folks. It doesn't tend to make sense. Unless, your room happens to be in the middle of the jungle or something like that. But next, remember to raise the stakes. A twist should make things more interesting or challenging, not confusing. So you want to up the interest level. You want to up the challenge level of the story, but you don't want to confuse your readers. You also want to remember to stay true to your character. The best twists come from character motivations. Why would they hide the twist? Why would they act this way? What's their motivation? If your plot twist hinges on a character, why are they acting like this? What's the backstory? And did you seed enough of the backstory to make it relevant? And remember, the reader wants to be surprised, but not tricked. The twist should make them feel smart, not duped. Remember, your reader doesn't want to go, what the bleep? Instead, they want to go, oh my God, I should have seen this. I got to reread. How did I miss this? So in wrapping it up, and my cornmeal porridge is starting to boil, so that's great. In wrapping it up, think about where you can slip in a twist that feels natural but changes everything. Whether it's a secret, a betrayal, or just a shift in perspective, plot twists are one of the most fun tools in your fiction author toolbox. So, folks, what is the twist in this cornmeal porridge? Are we really making just another plain cornmeal porridge? Nah, we're not doing it. We're making chocolate cornmeal porridge, folks. Gotcha! Not the same old cornmeal. And it's just about thick, so we're going to stir this up. Look at that delicious chocolate. Chocolate cornmeal porridge. Bet you didn't see that coming. Or maybe you did. I was talking about plot twists. So this cornmeal porridge had to have a twist to it. Man, that looks good. Check that out. And this is the perfect thickness, folks. Look at that. I bet this is going to taste just like chocolate cream of wheat. All right, we're done here. So I'm going to bring you over to the table. My bowl's already ready. Bring you over here. There you are, right there. Look at that bowl. It's my new wheatgrass bowl. It's great. All right. Chocolate cornmeal porridge, folks. I need to add some sugar. Find my sugar. You always want to add your sugar last. Can you see my bowl? My pot? My pan? There it is, folks. We found it. So you want to be generous with the sugar. And we'll stir it in. And then this is going to have to cool off. I'll see if I can take a tiny bite without burning myself, but overall it really needs to cool off. So I'm going to see if I can take a tiny bite of this. Oh, I need to spit out my gum. So, alright, let's put this in the bowl, make sure the bowl is clean. I always look at the bowl like way too much. Here it is. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I'm seeing things. Alright, I'll get a thing and dry that off. Paper towel. So, yeah, the thing about this is that I can now talk from anywhere in the room and you'll still hear me. Now, the question is, am I going to have to use what's on the card or can I use what the camera picks up? That's going to be the question, and I'll only find that out once I start editing. And I'm not going to edit until I finish this cornmeal porridge. Look at that, folks. That's delicious. Chocolate cornmeal porridge. I don't think it gets any better than this, folks. All right, let's see what we got. Is it any good? Oh my God. Wow! Flat twist is good! That is delicious! Oh my God, that's amazing. All right. Wow, is that good? You've got to try this, folks. If you got a little cocoa powder in your kitchen and some cornmeal, you've got to make some chocolate cornmeal porridge. It's amazing. All right, and I think that will wrap up this video. I am going to eat and then get to editing videos and get this newsletter out for the week and do some website updates and stuff like that. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday and the rest of your weekend, of course. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can now thank the channel directly on YouTube. Or you can go into the description and check out Buy Me a Coffee or the GoFundMe link. All right, folks, that's it. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.